Under the subdomain discourse climate, I found strong evidence of a positive discourse climate that actively engages children in conversations that facilitate the mutual exchange of ideas, opinions, and feelings, to quote Bielko. I thought this was appropriate considering this year my students are far different than what I've worked with in the last few years, especially in the last 2 or 3 years. The children I've worked with have had more severe disabilities, and it's been a lot closer to life skills as opposed to the students this year where they're a lot closer to being neurotypicals children. Because of this, we've switched over and we're doing basically what's emergent curriculum. We base a lot of our learning activities off the children's interests. They have a lot of say as to what themes we do. There's a lot of conversations back and forth to help with lesson planning and things like that. Engagement is high, and they're usually pretty interested, involved in what we're doing, because it's usually something that they've suggested. Likewise to that, under the subdomain opportunities for extended conversations, we provide the children multiple opportunities for extended conversations. It's a big part of our day. We start the day with what we call morning meeting, in which we gather together and talk as a group for 10 or 15 minutes or so. We give the children to talk about what they want to do that day. We make our plan. We give them a couple of options for teacher-directed activities. They choose the one that they want to do, and we make the other one available as well. So that's where we get a lot of ideas for future lesson plans. We sit at snack and lunch time. We all sit together as a group. It's a very active time. There's a lot of conversations going on. We also use that time to sort of take notes on what topics the children are most excited about and what questions they might have, so we can help them to further explore that. Under the subdomain efforts to build vocabulary, vocabulary building is a staple of our classroom routine. Usually takes place during circle time. The vocabulary words are usually selected knowing that they're going to appear in stories that we're reading either that day or that week that I suspect the children will have questions about. I believe that a rating of 3, just a basic score, is appropriate because based off of evidence, it can be stated that, to quote the Elko, there's some evidence of instructional efforts to expand children's spoken language. It's true that the new vocabulary words don't usually come up in organic conversation, so I suppose they aren't as integrated in ongoing classroom activities as they could be. So under the subdomain phonological awareness, I gave my classroom a score of a basic 3. It's a consistent part of our circle time routine. There's some evidence of it in the classroom, but there's not necessarily a lot. And I don't know how much of it really takes place outside of circle. At the moment, it's pretty routine based in being part of circle. One of the tools that we use to help promote phonological awareness is what we call our letter people, like cartoon characters. Mr. B is a big blue boy who blows bubbles with brown boots, that kind of thing. They're like little cartoon characters. Often, if I have a student with the first letter in their name, then I name it after them. These are children who are, probably in junior high by now, but, Singing Sailor, Tired Trey, Muscle Max, that kind of thing. They're pretty engaged in that. They're pretty entertained by it, especially if it has their name. I find that's the best tool that I have found so far to work with phonological awareness. We do, we have, the standard stories. We watch the YouTube little music videos that have, the A makes the A sound, that kind of thing. We do that part of circle time. They really like those. It's the kind of stuff you see on like ABC Mouse kind of thing.